Yo, Hallie, what's going on with your parents? Are they still not waking up, or...?
They're both fighting as hard as they can, but no, they haven't regained consciousness yet. I can tell just by looking at their faces, though, they're trying their best to stay alive.
They are, huh? I guess they're tougher than I thought. But they're still in a coma, right?
Yes, they've been comatose ever since the accident. I'm still holding out hope, though, that any second now they're going to open their eyes.
Sure, yeah, it'd be nice if they woke up, but I mean, it would also be kind of nice if they didn't wake up, wouldn't it? You know, they just head straight toward the great beyond. That would make things way easier for both us and them.
Excuse me? I cannot believe you could say something so heartless, so evil!
Hey, I'm just saying, even if they wake up, they're gonna have a bunch of problems, right? They'll probably never walk again. Why force them to suffer through a life of pain and misery when they can just end it all, clean and easy?
You started to change the moment you heard that my parents were in a car accident, and now your transformation is complete, Tom. Congratulations! You're now nothing but a black-hearted scumbag. The second I get home, I am calling my lawyer and divorcing you.
Scumbag? Don't talk about me that way. By the way, out of curiosity, when are you coming home?
I have no idea. They got in the accident while on vacation, remember? The hospital they're in is about a 4-hour drive from home. But this is their hometown. They both grew up out here, and their parents are still living in the area, so we'll probably do their funeral here too. I don't know when I'll be back. I just know it's going to be a while.
Whoa, wait, did you say funeral? You mean they're gonna die?
Listen to yourself. You are talking about my parents dying like a kid waking up on Christmas morning.
That's not true. I'm not excited or anything. I'm just wondering, that's all. If you're already talking about having a funeral, that must mean the outlook is pretty grim, right?
If you must know, the relatives are all preparing for that possibility. And the doctors are telling me we shouldn't expect a recovery barring a miracle.
Oh man, that is sad. Really sad. I'm so sorry to hear that. Such a shame, really. They were having such a good time visiting their parents, too.
Yeah, the accident happened while they were heading back to their hotel from dinner. Everyone was there. My parents, my dad's parents, and my mom's parents. I'm glad they at least got the chance to say goodbye.
Man, that is absolutely terrible. A real tragedy. Shakespeare's got nothing on this story. Hey, you know what else is a tragedy? Your parents' old house is gonna be all alone now that they're dead. There's nothing sadder than an empty home.
Hey, they're not dead yet, you jerk.
Oop, did I say now? I meant to say once they're dead.
Anyway, why are you bringing up my parents' house? That's pretty random.
Nah, it's not random at all. I just happened to pass by it on my way home from work. And I just got to wondering, you know, if your parents never come out of their comas, what's gonna happen to their house?
I have a million things to think about right now, and that isn't one of them. Anyway, are you going to come down here at all?
Nah, I can't. You gotta take care of my mom. When she heard about what happened to your parents, she started freaking out. I'm really worried about her, and I don't think I should leave her alone right now. I'm gonna take her out to a nice dinner, then probably go watch a movie at home with her after that.
Oh, well, excuse me for interrupting your fun evening with gloomy talk of my parents dying.
Hey, what's with that sarcasm? I'm concerned about my mom. Is that such a bad thing? I don't appreciate you mocking my concern for her mental health.
I don't appreciate you talking about my parents like we'd be better off if they were dead. You haven't expressed a single shred of genuine concern for my parents or me.
There you go again, making every single thing all about you. You have a really bad attitude tonight. Whatever, give my condolences to your grandparents.
I have a bad attitude? You're the one with an attitude problem, and my parents aren't dead yet. You are the biggest jerk in the universe, Tom. I will never forgive you for this.
Good grief, I go out of my way to comfort you about your parents passing, and this is the thanks I get? If this is the way you're gonna talk to me, just don't contact me for a while. That would save both of us a lot of grief.
They haven't passed yet! Tom? What is the meaning of this? What have you done?
You're gonna have to be more specific if you want an answer to that. I've done a lot of things today. Went to work, got a sandwich at a deli downtown for lunch, and so on and so forth. What exactly have I done that's gotten you so upset?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. My parents' house is gone. Not only that, there's a brand new house being built where it was.
Ah, that was what you were talking about. It's still got a little bit of work left to be done, but it's coming along pretty smoothly. So, what do you think? Pretty nice house, huh? You don't need to thank me. I know you wouldn't have wanted to deal with that old dumpster heap, so I took care of it for you.
Took care of it? You demolished it!
Exactly! There was no salvaging that house. My mom took care of everything. She got in touch with a contractor the second we heard the news that your mom and dad kicked the bucket.
I don't believe this. You really didn't know?
No what?
You are so dumb. You are such a clueless moron that I should be furious, but I can't stop myself from laughing at you.
I don't get it. Why are you laughing? What's going on? What don't I know?
I've been on to you for some time now, Tom. You have been wanting to get your hands on my parents' land since the second that car crashed into them. I mean, did you really think I wouldn't catch on? You were being so obvious. The only thing that surprises me is the fact that you actually went and tore my parents' old house down without saying a single word to me. You're insane, Tom.
What's the big deal? That house was a piece of junk. It was violating so many building codes, I'm surprised it wasn't condemned. All I did was make use of a nice plot of land that conveniently became vacant. You should be thanking me and my mom for not letting it go to waste.
You expect me to thank you for demolishing the house that I grew up in? That house was full of memories for both me and my parents. Sure, it was old, and yeah, it wasn't exactly the nicest house on the block, but we loved every minute that we lived together in that house.
Yeah, and your parents aren't going to be living there or anywhere else ever again. What were you going to do, have their corpses taxidermied and set up in that house like a museum? I've been thinking for a while about having a new house built for my mom, and this was the perfect opportunity. I'll bet your parents would be thrilled to see the nice house that I'm putting up there. All I'm doing is showing my mom the love and respect she deserves, and you have no right to criticize me for that.
Don't you dare talk about my parents, Tom. You never cared about their happiness while they were alive. Don't pretend like you care about them now that they're dead.
Yeah, they're dead, so again, what's the problem? I'm happy, my mom's happy, everyone's happy. The only person who's not happy is you, but that's just your attitude problem rearing its ugly head again.
I know exactly why your mom is so happy. She hates me, and what better way to score points against me than to demolish the house I grew up in? Don't pretend you didn't notice that. Seriously, I never understood it. Why did your mom hate me so much?
Didn't I tell you about that? It's because you remind her of Cindy.
Cindy? I don't know any Cindy. Oh, wait a minute. You mean your younger sister? The one I've never met?
Yeah, her. She was nothing but trouble back when she was a kid. She caused all sorts of grief for me and my mom. It got so bad that my mom ended up kicking her out of the house as soon as she turned 16.
Your mom kicked her out when she was 16?
Yeah, and she got what she deserved for being such an obnoxious brat. Mom says the way you talk and act reminds her of Cindy, and it really gets on her nerves.
Based on what you just told me and what I already know about you and your mom, I'd say that the problem likely wasn't with Cindy. Did Cindy ever do anything to you?
To me? Well, no, I guess she didn't, but that's not the issue right now. You were laughing earlier and said there was something I didn't know. What were you talking about?
Oh, that? I was laughing because you had a house built on land that wasn't even yours to use.
Huh? What do you mean? You were an only child, right? And your parents are dead. If there's no one else around to inherit it, that must mean the land is yours. And since we're not divorced yet, that means the land is mine, too.
I didn't inherit that land. Before my parents died, they sold the house and land to my uncle.
What? Why would they do that?
They've been planning to move for a while. They wanted to go back to their hometown so they could be closer with their parents. The reason they took a trip there a few months ago was to look for a new house. They sold the land to my uncle a long time ago, though. He was just letting them live there until they were ready to move.
Wait, so what does that mean? I don't get it.
It means that you tore down a house that you didn't own and built a new house on land that you didn't own. All without the permission of the actual homeowner and landowner.
But wait, I didn't know about any of that. You never told me. Why didn't you tell me?
There was nothing for me to tell. That land was never mine to begin with. It didn't concern you at all. Why didn't you talk to me before you went and hired a contractor to do the work for you? That was really dumb.
I thought it was yours. And since we're still married, your property is my property.
That is not how it works. But let's just set that aside for now. The important thing is that the land isn't mine and isn't yours. What are you going to do about this, Tom?
Well,
My uncle had a plan worked out for that property to build an apartment complex. Thanks to you, that project is either going to be delayed significantly or canceled entirely. The financial damage from that is going to be astronomical.
No way! This was not my fault!
Oh, then whose fault is it, Tom?
It's your fault! You should have told me that land wasn't yours. You set me up. You wanted this to happen.
That's the story you're going to go with here? It was all my conspiracy to make you tear down my childhood home?
Shut up! I didn't do anything wrong. You did!
Hello, Hallie. I wish I were contacting you under better circumstances, but I just heard a terrifying story from my son. Did you trick Tom into tearing down your parents' old house? Oh, come on, really? No, I did not trick him into doing anything. You, however, seem to have had a direct hand in this, Mildred. So don't try and pass the buck to me. Even if there is some silly minor legal issue with us building a house there, there's a much larger issue at play. Tom wanted to build this house for me. His dream was to build me a beautiful house. And you have crushed his dream. How dare you do this to my son? What are you outraged at me for? He tore down my parents' old house without permission, without even talking to me. Your parents are no longer in this world. It's none of their concern what happens to their old house. It seems to me like you're being incredibly selfish here, Hallie. I think you should take a moment to think about the feelings of people other than yourself. Wow, I see where Tom gets it now. It's that awful gaslighting, manipulative personality of yours that made Tom grow up to be such a massive scumbag. What? Do not speak ill of my dear son to me. He isn't a scumbag, you are. All he wanted to do was build a simple house for his dear mother. And thanks to your negligence, that plan is now ruined. Don't you have any idea how much that hurt him? However much you think he loved me far more. Trust me, you don't have to tell me. I am aware of that. But the facts are what they are. The house and the land belong to my uncle. There is nothing you or I can do about that. Then give me your uncle's phone number. I'll convince him to abandon his silly plan and allow us to use the land. How exactly are you planning to do that? Nothing you say to him is going to do a bit of good. He's already working on suing you as we speak. Suing me? What for? Isn't it obvious? You tore down his house. You're illegally occupying his land. You interfered in the contract he had signed with a real estate company to build an apartment there. Of course he's going to sue you for that. Oh, that's ridiculous. No, it's not. He has every legal right to demand compensation from you. What's ridiculous is you and Tom tearing down my parents' house before they were even buried. But we had no idea we were doing anything wrong. We had the contractor look into the legality of using the land, and they told us there was no problem. They wouldn't have begun work otherwise. So don't blame me, blame them. I'm the victim. Right. So you were defrauded, were you? This construction company said it was okay for you to use the land? That's right. They said they would offer a discount if we hired them for both the demolition of the old house and the construction of the new house. I thought I could trust them, but looking back, they were a rather shifty bunch. And what does this company stand to gain from doing this? They had to have known you didn't own the land. That sort of thing is simple to look up. That means that the very second their demolition crew set foot on the property, they were already breaking the law. That's not just illegal, it's incredibly stupid. How am I supposed to know what they were thinking? All I know is that they're frauds. We were tricked into building a house there. It's not our fault. We're the victims. Uh-huh. I think I might just have to look into this myself.
Hey, Mom? Did you really pin the whole thing on the contractor?
I most certainly did. That was the easiest way for us to get away with it. All we need to do is keep pointing the finger at the contractor and we'll walk away from this with our hands squeaky clean. It's unfortunate that they'll likely take a financial hit from this. Some of the higher-ups might even go to jail, but that's just the way it has to be.
I don't know, Mom. I'm not feeling great about this. I mean, if the cops start looking into it, won't they come up with evidence that we're lying pretty quickly? Didn't you give them that one document that you made yourself?
Don't worry, they won't talk. I'll make sure of that.
How will you do that?
All I need to do is threaten to tell the cops that they made me forge the deed to the property. Who do you think the police are going to believe? A crooked construction company that defrauds old ladies? Or me?
Mom, you are amazing! Like, seriously, wow, you are so smart!
Like I said before, Tom, you can leave everything to me. There is nothing in the world that I wouldn't do to protect my dear son.
Thanks, Mom. The same goes for me. I would do anything to protect you. You're the best mom in the whole world. Hey! You're suing my mom. What gives?
Can you blame me? When I heard that your mother was trying to frame an innocent construction company, I just had to help them out. So I hired a private detective, and he was able to put together all the evidence I needed that your mother was behind the whole thing. I contracted the company to let them know, and we are currently coordinating our lawsuits against her.
Innocent company? What are you talking about? They're the ones who threatened my mom into forging the deed. Mom was afraid for her life. She had no choice but to do what they said.
Do you have any evidence at all that they threatened your mom? Emails, texts, voice recordings, anything?
My mom said they threatened her, and if my mom says they did, then it must be true.
Do you believe everything your mom tells you, or is this all just an act? In any case, the detective I hired went through every single contract that company has ever had, and you know what he found? Nothing. Not even a minor code violation. In fact, the CEO came and apologized to me and my uncle personally for falling victim to your mom's scheme.
That's a lie. It wasn't my mom's plot. It was theirs. My mom would never do anything so dirty and underhanded unless she was in big trouble. But now, thanks to you, my saint of a mother is going to get arrested.
That saint forged multiple documents, defrauded a construction company, and destroyed another person's property. Did you really think no one would find out? What was she thinking?
She was thinking that she was willing to do whatever it took to protect her son.
You cannot seriously believe she did this for you. It was all for her own benefit, Tom. You told her about your plan, right? How you were thinking about buying a house for her?
Yeah, I told her all the time. What of it?
That's the whole game right there. All she had to do was forge those documents and she would get a new house, frame the company for it, and get away scot-free. It's such a comically evil plot. I wouldn't be surprised if she got it from watching some Saturday morning cartoon back in the 60s.
But that doesn't make any sense. You think my mom went out of her way to ruin some random construction company? What would she get out of that?
Do you know who the CEO of that construction company is? It's Cindy, your sister.
What?
That's right, the daughter your mother kicked out of the house. Having lost her home, she had to drop out of high school and get work fast, and the only place that she could find to hire her on such short notice was a construction company. She worked her way up the ladder and started getting involved in the business side of the operation. After a while, she decided to go independent, and she now is the CEO of the company that she founded.
Are you serious? I had no idea that's what she was doing now, but I still don't get why Mom would go out of her way to hurt Cindy's company.
I don't really get it either, to be honest. All I know is that your mother has a raw, seething hatred for her. There's just something about her, and me too, I guess, that your mother hates. Maybe she resented the fact that Cindy succeeded despite being kicked out of the house, but whatever her reason, it was a perfect chance to kill two birds with one stone. Crush her upstart daughter's company and get a new house for herself. It was a terrible plan, though, doomed from the start. Your mother may be conniving and evil, but she's also really, really dumb. That's an unfortunate combination of character traits.
Don't you dare insult my mom like that! My mom is my hero! You and your whole family are scum! Oh, wait, you don't have a family anymore! You're all alone now!
Go ahead, Tom, get it all out of your system. Enjoy that feeling of scoring a point on me while it lasts, because I'm still going to sue you. You owe my uncle a ton of money for what you did to my parents' house, and you're going to pay every cent.
You can't do that to my poor mom. She's on a fixed income. How much is it gonna be anyway?
Considering the costs of returning the land to a usable state and having to back out of the contract with the real estate company, I'd say you're looking at several $100,000.
She doesn't have enough savings to cover that? Are you really gonna bleed an old retired woman dry?
Yes, and then you, as her co-conspirator, will have to pay whatever is left over. I would tell you to have your mom come out of retirement to help work it off, but she won't be able to get a job from prison.
If you think I'm gonna pay your uncle one single cent, you're out of your mind! And there's no way my mom's going to jail. She's innocent!
If you genuinely believe your mom is going to avoid prison time, then you're the one who's out of your mind. And you are going to pay, even if it means going deep in debt.
And you have no qualms about doing this to us, huh? You're gonna send me hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt and my mom to prison?
Why, yes, Tom. Yes, I am. Because I want you to suffer.
I don't believe you. When did you become such an inhuman monster? I won't let you get away with this.
What are you going to do about it, Tom? Go crying to your mommy for help?
You know what? That's a great idea. I'll do that right now. You're gonna regret making my mom mad. Mom, you're not gonna believe this. I think we might be in a little bit of trouble. Hallie says she and her uncle are gonna sue us for building the house. I guess she hired a detective or something, and that detective figured out that you forged the deed. She's even saying that you're gonna go to jail. I thought you said we weren't gonna get caught.
This is all your fault.
Huh?
If you hadn't been such a useless oaf, none of this would have ever happened. You should have threatened your sister into silence.
But you said you were going to take care of that.
Shut up. I had to do everything because you were too stupid and cowardly to do what needed to be done. I'm not paying anything, even if they sue me. I would sooner burn all of my money than let your worthless sister or wife get any of it. You can pay it all by yourself.
What? Mom, come on. Sure, I'm sort of responsible too, but I have to pay everything?
I said shut up. You and Cindy are one and the same. You're both a couple of failures. You ruined my life.
Okay, come on now. Really, Mom? You were the one who came up with the plan to demolish Hallie's old house while she was away. You forged the deed by yourself, too. And I didn't even know that Cindy was the CEO of the construction company you hired. How is this my failure?
Don't you dare talk back to me like that, you foul little ingrate. I am telling the police that it was all your doing. I won't take the fall for this.
But you said you were gonna protect me.
You said you would do anything for your mother.
I didn't mean that I'd go to prison for you. Sorry, Mom, but I'm not helping you get out of this. Okay, Hallie, I just went to the police. I'm gonna take a plea bargain to avoid charges. I gave them all the dirt they wanted on my mom, so we're good now, right? You'll forgive me for everything?
No. The end.
Seriously? But I gave them everything. She's gonna go to jail for sure thanks to me. I was wrong to participate in my mom's scheme, but I've seen the error of my ways.
I'm still not going to forgive you.
Come on, I'm gonna go apologize to Cindy, too. I can see now that Mom was wrong to kick her out like she did. Cindy was always a straight shooter and never pulled her punches. Mom just resented her because Cindy called her out whenever she did something bad or stupid. And now Mom's doing the exact same thing to me. She's even telling me I have to pay all the damages to your uncle by myself. But you're not gonna sue me anymore, are you?
I most certainly am. It's nice to hear you admit that you were wrong, though. I can't help but feel that you're only apologizing out of desperation rather than sincerity. I'm also grateful for the evidence you contributed to my lawsuit. But while you may dodge criminal liability, you will still be held civilly liable.
But I said I was sorry.
You insulted my family, Tom. While my parents lay dying in a hospital, you were hard at work scheming with your mom to steal their land. Your mother is going to be arrested for her part in that scheme, and if I can't put you in prison alongside her, then you're going to pay handsomely.
Please, Hallie, don't do this. I never wanted any of this to happen. I imagine you didn't, but here we are. Oh, and one more thing. I took the liberty of informing your company about this nasty little incident, along with all your relatives and our mutual friends. What? No, you had no reason to go that far.
Oh, but I do. You pissed me off. And I want nothing more than to see you squirm in agony amid the ruins of your life. My first order of business after that was to divorce Tom, which didn't take long. After that, I was able to focus on working with my uncle and Cindy on the lawsuit against Tom and his mom. The jury was only out for about an hour before they returned with a judgment in our favor for the maximum amount allowed by law. Tom obviously couldn't pay his share, so he had to take out a massive loan to cover it. Once word of his actions got around, he lost the trust of all his friends and colleagues. But the worst thing for him, as a consummate mama's boy, was to lose the love of his mother. Word on the street is that whenever he's out of the house, he looks like the life has been sucked right out of him. Meanwhile, Mildred's criminal trial also went in our favor. By the time she gets out of jail, she'll be going straight to a nursing home. All of us non-criminals are doing just great, though. I had never met Cindy before, but thanks to Tom and his mom's scheme, we're great friends now. She even hired me into her company in order to help me get my new life started after the divorce. Whether it's at work or in our private time, we always have a great time talking to each other. And since we've both been the victim of her mom's cruelty and brother's fecklessness, we have a lot to talk about.